Den, Dart, yes, Thomas, Miss, that was basically an FYI, guys. This is like the Victor music where he basically, this episode is basically Thomas telling these are the stories of the island. Went to Dan and Dart. Anyway, wait. Dan, Dart, after the Fat Controller, as I remember, the Fat Controller had to literally find Toby paperwork, which didn't matter for long. Are you even listening to my stories? Of course we were, Thomas. Miss, I don't think so. So, oh, we were trying to doze off when you start to tell the story. Anyways, why you pick right now on a snowy night in mid? And I know that there's snow. I know that, but these are the stories of the island take place in the past, and this is the present day of 20. Hold on. This is the present day of 2015. Well, it's late in the year 2015. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, after the Fat Controller, told told Toby about what happened, Ben, Ben, about his paperwork, he never found it. Unfortunately, Toby would never found out about that because a year later, the Fat Controller opened up a railway museum. A year later, the Fat Controller would open up a railway museum, and Toby would be there ever since. You have any stories about Barry? Right. After he came to Sodor. Unfortunately, I don't. What happened was I heard that he joined Eagle Rescue Team in 1954. But besides that, I don't have any more information on that guy. What about Duck? What about Duck? Duck? What about Duck? That bladder? That Dart? Yeah. What about him? Duck? Last I heard, he's still running the little western. Last I heard, he's still running the little western, like how I left. But what about Percy, your best friend? Last I go. Well, there's a reason why I'm all alone, and that because Percy was praying. Well, I can tell you the story if you want. That Gulp. What should I do? Percy's not here anymore. The fact the top of had the third than packing. And I last heard that he got grabbed. By the way, guys, I'm actually just joking. Well, the Fat Controller sent Percy was actually sent in for an overhaul, yeah, and I don't know what happened. But Percy was sadly sent. He was sent in by last. Well, Robert Paul, the new manager of the Croven Gate Workshop, yes. Well, Robert Paul, the manager of the Croven Gate Workshop, is now, well, Percy didn't come out. No, well, Percy, I don't know where he is. Me and him we had a big fight in 1954. We had a big fight in 1954, and since then, I've not seen him. You think he's still alive, Thomas? Doubtful, because if he's still alive, why hasn't he reached out to me? Meanwhile, I miss Thomas. but the Fat Controller relocated me from the Foghorn Boys to halfway across the island. When I miss my my old friend, my best friend, Thomas. Miss that Percy. He doesn't know that I'm still here. Last he, Percy said, I miss my old friend, Thomas. Since the Fat Controller transferred me from Nafford, from Tidmouth to Nafford Sheds, I'm like halfway across the island. Len. Because I'm the new pilot engine for Vickerstown. But yeah, I sleep. At Percy said, I miss Thomas. As Thomas continued telling, as I continued to tell my friends, as I said, I'm sorry, but I'm totally tapped out. Sorry, I don't know what happened to Percy. I heard that he got transferred all halfway across the island. And by the way, guys, that's going to happen in season 7. That's going to happen in the second episode. That's going to happen in either 6 or 7. Then Thomas, Percy won't be that far away. Why don't you go reach him? Because what happened was, it better if I show you. It better if I tell you than show you. What happened was, I can't remember it. It's been so many years. I forgot the entire reason why what happened. I forgot the entire reason. I forgot the entire reason why. Can we just go to sleep? And I can continue. Thomas, we don't start work for another hour. I know that. So, you want me to continue on where I left off last night? Yes. And tell us what exactly happened to Toby. I guess I could tell you later. I mean, I remember that Wait, Thomas. Hold on. What? I have some red flag with some of your stories that you're not even in. I know that you get the story from the other engines if they're smaller scale, if they're narrow gauge, and Iraq Railway and Yellowstone guys. Yeah, but how do you get the stories like that last one you told us? Like that time that you told us again. Remember last time? You told us Molly and Gordon. Yeah? And you said that you were busy all day. How can you possibly have told that story if your alibi is that you were busy all day? Explain that. I can't. You know who? My Gordon Driver. I like to tell stories, so I just made that one up. It really did happen, and I actually didn't make that one up. It really did happen. But oh, yeah? You know who told me this story? Who? The Fat Controller. Half was told by the Fat Controller himself, Sir Topham Hatt, and the rest was told by Gordon and Molly. Oh, I see. So those two friends of yours tell you you what's happened so you can make a story out of it. So you can make a story out of it. Indeed. Now, do you have any other stories to tell? I do have me and Percy when we went to school. Not those stories. We're sick of them, aren't we? What? What? Aren't we, Dan? Yeah. Yeah. What I mean is dark. What do I mean? What he means is we don't find those. We find those stories possible. It's just not likely. Or that we don't find those stories likely. I could always just tell you that. How do you know? What he means is, yeah, don't you have any more stories to tell? Sorry, sorry. At first it said begun in 1984 when my TV show came out. Since then, I've not been able to tell many stories to the new engine that joined our railroad, like you. What do you mean? Both Dendark said to me in a loud voice. What Dendark said to me, they said, why don't you just tell us what happened after 1984? I guess I could tell you a story that the Aubrey don't know about. And what was it? It's the day that Toby went away. Now, I'm gonna have a small story in the break. Originally, I wanted Thomas to tell stories of the island to Ari and Bert, or Cranky, or really I wanted Thomas to tell the stories of the island to either Ari or Bert or Cranky or Nia and Rebecca, but being how Rebecca and Nia will actually appear in season 5, and this is year. By the way, the timeline for the series is the late 30s into the 40s for season 1, late 40s into the 50s for season 2, late 50s into the 50s for season 4, part in 1950. The year in question for the season we're currently on is out in 1955. Atlee, what you can, even though there were no Christmas episodes until season 3, which actually take place at the tail end of the 1950s into the 50s. Atlee season 2, Atlee the rebuild. I was supposed to have a thing where it was the net part of the story was the net. It would have taken so much longer, but I had to go by minute. What really happened was it took 2 months to get the season 2 map. It took 2 months. So, and it was late 19. It was actually the year after. And yes, there actually was supposed to be a Christmas episode for that particular season, but I never got around to it. So it takes place from very late 1945 to early 19. But with all the references to BR that I put in the series, what? you know what? Some, you know what? The whole Diesel 10 subplot occurs. I remember how I said, you know what? It occurs. You know what? There's at least between episode 10. How about the first 10 episodes at least take place in 1945. But the next but the rest of the season take, I know it might be sounding a little compressed, but I just looked up the build date for a BR Class 42 warship, and let me just show you my research. Look. But look. They were built between the year 1958 to 1951, which means the Diesel 10 part of the seasons all have to take place in the late 1950s, which means we're you know what? What? Diesel 10 is actually an experiment by mad scientists out in the late 1940s into the. You know what? Diesel 10 is actually an experiment. Thomas, I thought you said the Diesel 10 was an experiment. Yeah, that occurred. Yeah, for 4 whole years we had to live with the diesel. Yeah, for 5 from 1940. He was out. Now the rest of the 40s. Now after 1940. The rest of the 1940s had nothing pretty much eventful happen, which why had nothing pretty much big event happening. Okay, so what happened? In the early 1950s, circa 1951, a test happened on Sodor, where an experimental diesel, so from a new class of diesel engine that BR was building, came. The guy's name was Boomer. He was a famous locomotive designer. He was always a mad scientist that tried to. But in the late 1950s, because of the Cold War, so what? You know what? Being how I said that the season 1 takes place a year, it really starts in 1930. It really starts in 19. Yeah, so it goes between 19. I'm gonna try to figure out the timeline of my series after this episode. So basically, what happened after that, the Little Western was open for construction, which had Dr. Beecham visit the island. Which had Dr. Beecham visit the island. So Dr. Beecham visited the island and to over the set. And then what happened? But the good doctor closed several stations. Later, the Fat Controller used to work. Later, we found out about the Fat Controller past. A lot happened in 1952. Atlee season 4 is Atlee in 1952. Atlee remember how I said that in season 3 take place, it actually in 19. You see, because nothing pretty eventful happened. Remember how I said the tail half actually ends in the early parts of 1951, and the rest of season 3 happened in 1950. The happens in late 19. The rest of season 3 actually occurs in 1951. Actually, season 1 occurs in 1950. See, and then season 3 takes place in late 1951 to early 1952, which is when season 4 takes place, and and season 5 take place in 1955. I wanted season 5 to take place in 1955 because it made some sense. You have any news stories to tell, Thomas? Like, besides the fact, what this whole YouTube thing that you keep mentioning for why you've not been telling? Yeah, there's this site called YouTube which people post videos on. I don't know because I can't watch it because I'm afraid for crying out loud. Loud? Yeah. So the Fat Controller the Third has uploaded a YouTube channel called These Are My Stories of my Railroads. I told him to rename it to These Are Stories of the Island because that way basically tell it. Another fan creation has the name of Stories of Island of Sodor, so that's why we don't call it that. FYI guys, that's why. Not my name ever. Okay, so what? So what happened? And basing my theories is the Thomas. You told guys I will remake my early season to have I Will Hew in them. Of course, I'm gonna make a season. I'm gonna only use the first. The intro I made for season 2 with all those railroads and a dash of season 5. Anyway, wait. I guess I could tell you what happened in 1991. Why? What happened? But remember how I said that there was an oil depot on Sodor? Yeah? It closed in 1991. A part of it. Well, more. It also. It reopened in. What happened to the coal mine? You said that there was a coal mine, but you never brought it up again. Oh. And you're still in Steam? Not really. I'm kind of an oil-powered steam engine. All of us Northwestern engines are... All of us steam engines are oil-powered with steam. We found a new supply near Marston Heights, and we've been using it ever since. Anyway, Annie, what about your two coaches, Annie and Clarabelle? Where have they been? Annie and Clarabelle? Yeah, well, there's a reason I don't bring them up anymore. Why? Because Sally, they were retired in 1955. In 1956, the Fat Controller retired them. The Fat Controller Sally retired them in 1956 for good. And I was like, here what happened. I tried to stop him. I said, but Fat Controller, what will I pull? And he said, really, you for? But where? But Thomas, why are you now pulling? But now why are you pulling? I'm not pulling. I don't even pull coaches anymore. It's almost time for me to pull my non-inclarable crane. I will see you guys later. And then Dark says, now this will be kind of a series separate from Island where it will basically be Thomas telling these are the stories of the island, but then making up. But then it will be what really happens after Thomas is done. Normally he tells them to Den and Dark, and then he says, I miss Annie and I miss Clarabelle. I know, Thomas, but the Fat Controller retired them, remember? It was for good reasons. They were pretty old. They were pretty old already. They were already too old to be really useful on the main line. But that doesn't make any sense. I mean, this side is a heritage, right? Thomas said, driver, what? There are no other coaches in the yard. I checked. The only two are Annie and Clarabelle. That must be a mistake. I better tell. As the driver ran to go get a phone. But then he realized he had a phone on him with the Fat Controller. So Topham had the third. Yes? As Sir Topham had the third said, hold on. What? Was I on vacation that day? I would never remove Annie and Clarabelle from Thomas. Those two are your primary coaches, said the Fat Controller. Said the third Fat Controller. What? But then, oh yeah, Mr. Eric Critch guy's name. The name escaped me, but he gave me strict orders never to use Annie and Clarabelle, sir. Really? Why? Because he wanted Thomas to do more modern coaches. Was it Mr. Moderator that I know about? Yes, sir. Why? He does that to all railways he's the controller of. Trying to modernize it. When solar is a heritage, I say go for it. Thomas, what? The Fat Controller. I just got off the phone with the. Turns out. What? It was that guy. Remember that Mr. Modernization Pants? Oh, so it was Mr. Modernization Pants that made Annie and Clarabelle. Come on, Annie. Thomas! We're sick and tired of them waiting here for the grab engine that Mr. You'll wait here to be grabbed. Orson. As Annie and Clarabelle were saying, hip, hip, hooray, Thomas! As the Fat Controller second, as the third Fat Controller, as the Topham as the second, reached out to him. Listen, on my railway, we use old stuff like older coaches. Thomas also prefers Annie and Clarabelle. With that modern wonder, since I'm not. Well, this is a kind of a story that, well, you will see in season 7 or 8 when Thomas retired from pulling. Now, most of these events that I mentioned are going to happen, but except for Thomas losing Annie and Clarabelle. Until Monday with another Island trailer. Until then, I'm not Punt. I'll see you later.